After initial reboot, you should be left with this now. So you completed your quick setup, and when you logged out, you did make a save folder. So now we can take a look at the save folder, because it should be automatically mounted. So it's already mounted. This is what the save folder is, and we'll take a quick look. We'll make it a little smaller. We'll get into the save folder now. Now you have this a save folder that I put in TV, because I don't have a monitor. It's just connected to my regular TV, and that works fine for me. So, and you can take a look in there, and there is there's several files and so on. So in there, so we can go ahead and close that, so we know we're saving the file. Now the next thing that I like to do is to streamline some of the distracting elements, in my opinion. So what we can do is go ahead and take a look at the rocks filer, and then make it smaller with minus sign, and Control H to bring up all the hidden files and folders. And we can go into the start. I don't want a lot of these icons down here, so what we can do is go ahead and take a quick look at startup folder and the root folder. I don't care for conky, so we'll go ahead and right click on it, and then we'll go ahead and delete it. That's fine. And then cups color printing, I don't have a color printer, so I'll just go ahead and we can either put it on the tray, and I don't need the read me, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that, and rest of it is fine. So we can go ahead and back out, and then next what we will do is go into the .config file, and then go to auto start. And I don't really care for Synapse. Synapse is a program that is like application launcher, but I prefer to use Rofi, which has a similar function. So we'll go ahead and right click, and then trash is fine. And then free memory applet, I don't really need to know how much of the free memory. This has 8 gigs of RAM, and also plus that I also have a swap partition, which I probably no, I'm not using at all. So we'll go ahead and read me also. So you can see the woof woof in the background, dog barking. So that means the at least the setup, sound setup is correct. Firewall status, it's always on, so I'll just go ahead and get rid of that. So you should have a less icon next time you reboot. I'm not going to reboot because I'm actually recording. So next is I've already mounted this, but I want these two. This is where the grub is. This is where all the pup files are. So I want these mounted automatically when I reboot. So I'll go ahead and right click on it and run mount a puppy. And within this here, you can see mount partition at boot. So we'll just click those two. And then everything else is already so this is where the save folder is, so that automatically it gets mounted. So we'll just go ahead and refresh, and then I also want the data, which is external. It's actually I mounted it already, but I want to just make sure it gets mounted on boot. So that's already clicked, so we are all set as far as that's concerned. Want to work on getting some applications, but the one thing about BookwormPup64, in contrast to most of the Puppy Linux distros, 90% of Puppy Linux uses Puppy Package Manager to install application. Bookworm also uses the Puppy Package Manager, but that's really limited because Puppy Package Manager legacy is mainly Puppy application that are native to Puppy Linux. So cursor themes, for example, is a cursor theme for only for a Puppy Linux. And in fact, we can just go ahead and do that now, and then install it from Puppy Package Manager. It'll make it easier for you to see my cursor, so it will just go ahead and try to do that now. And while it's going on, there's a separate Puppy Package Manager is a Synaptic, which is actually a Puppy Package Manager used for Debian distribution of Linux. And this, you'll be using that to primarily install many of the applications that you'll be using. So we'll go ahead and cursor themes is installed, and we'll just give it an OK. And then we'll close that for now, and then now the cursor theme, we can just go ahead and open up the JWM desk, and then go to the menu here and click on mouse cursor. It's already installed, and I'll pick preview, Celtic preview, because it'll be much easier to see. Now you can see the color cursor is big. Now let me just tell you a little bit about JWM desk. It has many functions. So you can go ahead and use to pick out a theme and icon layout and so on. But I find that if you use this a lot, then it has a tendency to mess up your theme and the JWM tray and even a keyboard sometimes, shortcuts that you made sometimes. So I try not to use it. I only use it for cursor theme. And also it can go to tray, and then I like to use this because I'm unsure how to do it manually, to change the color of speaker. So the color of speaker now is has this green, which I prefer white. So we'll just go ahead and go to the white here, and then the black here color I prefer to have, or maybe perhaps red color. It stands out a little bit. So, and then OK, and then it changes. So this is fine, because I think I prefer darker test bar background, which we'll get into later. So I think that's about all I use it for, actually. And then let me just show you how to briefly install some of the applications using Synaptic. So we can go to the setup, and we're gonna use Synaptic now. So we don't want this. So the first thing you should always do is reload and just get the latest package information. So I think I'll go ahead and off camera I will install many of the programs and fonts that I use, but let me just show you. I noticed that it does not have GIMP installed by default, so we'll just go ahead and go to the GIMP, search for GIMP, and go to package, and then it puts it in alphabetical order. So it should be GIMP. Okay, so we'll just make it a full-size screen. That's fine. So we're gonna click and right click, mark for installation, and then mark, and then apply, and then apply. Okay, so rest of it automatically close after. So that's rest of it I'll go ahead and continue on after I install all the applications that I use.